morning and welcome to the Underbrush, a Liger Studios podcast where we uncover the secrets of marketing. I'm your host, Dakota Ward. I'm joined here this morning by Jamehl Jackson of Country Financial, one of my new favorite best friends. And so happy to have you on the show this morning, Jamehl. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How's traffic? How's the drive in?
It was good. Yeah. 20-minute drive. It's not bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Right.
I was like 45 minutes, but I got a good podcast in, listening on the way in, so that was good.
Yeah, for sure.
But cool. Let's go ahead and jump into it. And so I think this will be a fun show. Kind of excited to do this, but let's start by just giving an introduction of yourself, the company that you work for, and a little bit about what you do.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Jamehl Jackson. I work for Country Financial. We're an insurance company here in Alpharetta, Georgia, right off Highway 9. We do all types of insurance, mainly life insurance, but, we do offer auto, home, business, and, everything else. So, we're just here to take care of the community and, make sure everybody's covered properly.
Love that.
Yeah.
Take care of the community.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get into the insurance game? Was it did you trip and fall and you just landed there, or was this intentional?
Kinda, honestly.
Yeah.
I was working a warehouse position, and I felt like I needed a change as far as like, I wanted to do sales or anything that was kind of better than manual labor, honestly.
Yeah.
So I decided to reach out to my financial advisor, and he was like, all right, let's get into life and health. That's the start of being a financial advisor. So so I ended up doing the life and health licensing, and it's cool, but as far as like being on a salary with commission and stuff like that, you definitely want to go to the P&C and life and health, just a full aspect, so you can, offer more products and whatnot. So, because going to an insurance company, you're not just going to look for one. Most people get everything under one umbrella. So
Sure.
So I ended up getting my P&C the beginning of this year, and I've been with Country Financial ever since. So
Cool.
yeah.
What's the licensing like? Is it a hard test?
It's not extremely hard. They try to trip you up. So they'll
How so?
It's as far as like they'll reword stuff.
Okay.
Like those you got to watch like if it's not or what it is. So you got to know what it is or what it's not. So
Okay.
it's just like you really got to be fine tuned with the questioning. So
You got to know your stuff.
yeah, for sure.
Cool. So we talked the other day, just kind of figuring out, where we wanted to take this show, because we could take it 100 different ways.
Right. Exactly.
But one of the things that you talked about is just the importance of being insured.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes. I feel like most people don't know what they're actually getting into. Nobody really wants to talk insurance,
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I was making a joke. I was like, sometimes even insurance guys don't even know. We're kind of like learning as we go.
Sure.
It's just far as, knowing your limits, and kind of like, as far as, just it's all numbers and words that we just don't really use on a regular basis. So, as far as like auto coverage, and not people that have enough coverage as it is. So they're kind of they're getting the minimum because they want just to get on with their lives and have the cheapest coverage possible. And,
right.
And there's so many different insurance companies that offer lower rates, but it's not exactly what you need as far as like being in case an emergency happens.
Sure.
So you just gotta watch out for that and be very educated when it comes down to knowing what you have.
Right. Well, and it's important because, one, you have to have it.
Exactly.
But I'm also, you might say, an optimist, because I do the minimum, because
Right.
I'm like, nothing bad's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. And that's and exactly that's one of the points they kind of teach us. It's like everybody thinks they have time, or they just think they're kind of invincible. And then something happens, and they're like, "Oh man, like I got to come out of pocket." I mean, it can destroy you. You know what I mean? If you're walking around without the proper coverage. So
right.
Yeah.
So what are the steps of making sure that you have the proper coverage? I mean, are there different variables and things that come into it? How does that work on your end? If I'm coming to you and said, "All right, I need car insurance,"
right?
What are the questions that you ask?
I mean, most people, you just got to ask your your insurance agent. Just say, well, am I properly covered? Am I really properly? Because a lot of people are out here. I mean, it depends on what kind of car you drive, or
Sure.
or how you want to live your life. Honestly, 'cause I'm just starting to realize, as an insurance agent, like, a lot of people are very reckless.
Yeah.
When it comes to just certain things. It's accidents here, accident there. DUI here, DUI there. It's like or just anything. So
We forget the human factor.
right. Yeah. Humans are very flawed. So but it's like, as long as that's why we have insurance in place, because you just want to make sure that if something does happen, that you're not gonna go under when it comes to paying out of pocket or paying somebody else or whatnot. Like, you don't want to hit a $500,000 car, and next thing you know, it's like you're out of.
Now it's $40 because I just totaled it.
Right. Exactly.
So I drive a truck, and I probably drive like a grandpa. At least that's what my siblings say, because I'm
Which is good.
I'm like speed limit. I
Yeah.
don't want to go over. I've had a couple of tickets, and that was no fun.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean Joey Bag of Donuts with a red Mustang isn't going to cut me off, and my insurance may not be able to cover it or whatever.
Right. For sure. Cool. I mean, as far as like auto, I mean, there's plenty of coverage, out there. There's they have different ads for everything.
Sure.
But I mean, what I really want to focus on is the need for life insurance.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people know about life insurance, and they usually, a lot of people have it through their job. It's just like kind of a minimal thing.
Sure.
They don't know exactly what they need as far as the amount that if something would happen to happen. You kind of have to look at 4 different factors. As far as the debt that you accumulate. If you don't want to leave debt to your family. Your income replacement. So if like, say you have a spouse or kids or whatnot, you want them to be okay. Because if you're the sole provider,
Sure.
you want them to be all right after you leave. So as far as the income, you just want the income replacement. As far as and mortgage. So if you have a mortgage or something like that, and you want that paid off, you definitely want to look into that as well.
Okay.
And also the education for your kids. So we call it DIME. So DIME.
Okay.
So it's debt, income, mortgage, and education.
Cool.
So you just want to make sure everything's going to be taken care of if the inevitable does happen. And
Sure.
It's one claim, like my friend said, my coworker said, that's one claim you're going to pay out. It's like you might people can drive for all their life, may not ever have a claim ever, but the death is inevitable. So we just want to make sure that your family is taken care of, and you can also build wealth on top of it. Like, as far as everybody thinks life insurance is just for death, life insurance is for your life. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you can build value. It's almost like a life savings.
Okay.
So you want what you put into your life insurance. If you outlive your life insurance policy, you get that money back. So what I mean.
What's a typical life insurance? Life expectancy. Is it your life expectancy? You say outlive your life insurance.
You can. There's different policies. You can have like a 10, 15, or 20 to 30 year term.
Okay.
Where you can pay that into. It's like a short term policy. It doesn't have as many benefits, but you can have like a premium return, or to return a premium.
Sure.
Where everything that you put into that policy, you're going to get back. What if you outlive that policy? Say 10 years.
Yeah.
You're paying your 20 bucks a month.
Sure.
All those monthly premiums you're going to get back.
Interesting.
At the end of that term. So yeah, and then with there's term life insurance, and there's whole life. Whole life comes with a little bit more benefits. You can get it's based off stocks and dividends and stuff like that. So you can get money back. You can accumulate money on top of your death benefit.
As you're paying the premiums,
Yes.
you can return.
So
Interesting.
it builds value. It builds interest.
Okay.
So yeah. So it's just interesting. Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
And it's been a generational wealth, resource for many generations to come. It's been life insurance has been around forever.
Sure.
And as long as you have that insurance in place, somebody dies in your family, the rest of the family's taken care of. You know what I mean? Like whether the kids, grandkids, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Everybody's taken care of.
So would you say everyone needs life
Everybody
insurance?
needs life insurance.
Everybody needs life insurance.
Everybody doesn't want to think about it because especially when you're young, you're like, I don't need life insurance.
Yeah, it's morbid.
Yeah. You're like, because you think it's just for you think it's just for death. You think just in case of death. But if you get life insurance young, by the time it's really a retirement thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a retirement thing. It's like if you want to live comfortable when you retire, you want this life insurance to be placed by the time you want to be done paying off your life insurance, so you have like $100,000 or $250,000 or whatever by the time you're done, and you're like, hey, I got this money. So it's almost like a separate 401k.
Okay.
So that's just how I see it, and I feel like the more I learn about it, the more I want to educate everybody about it. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean that's the best way to learn is to teach.
Yes.
And so the more that you bring in, and the more it excites you, the more you want to tell other people about it, and hopefully it excites them, and they tell more, and that's how change happens. That's how growth happens.
Right.
So that's fascinating. Mm-hmm. So a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, and you'd already kind of touched on leaving behind a legacy. We'll come back to that. Mm-hmm. But give us a couple scenarios just through your job of how you've taken them through a journey of getting some insurance and how it's benefited them. Do you have a couple of stories like that?
Yeah. I mean, I got a couple of people. I mean, I came across an old friend recently, and he's making a good amount of money.
Sure.
And he has a newborn, and he just wants to make sure that everything's taken care of. If something does happen.
Right.
So we just went through the steps, and now he has like $1 million life insurance policy. Mm-hmm. We do 401ks. I helped my buddy out with a 401k rollover. Not too long ago. And 401ks, that's another thing.
It's a whole another thing.
It's a whole another thing. So it's just like, I feel like these days, 401ks aren't really the best way, to retire off of.
Okay.
I feel like we build value in their 401k, but when it's time to take out that 401k, they're taking out like a good 30-40%, and you worked your butt off.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, on the end of the day, it's really more of a tax write-off for the business.
Okay.
So there's other investment products like the Roth IRAs and whatnot, mm-hmm. that you can build more value. You can put the same amount of money that you've been putting into your 401k and build twice as much money, and it's not as taxed. So it's just, I feel like everybody needs to be financial literacy is a major thing. So
sure.
So I mean, I just feel like I just had a couple of people. I've been across a whole bunch of people do this journey, mm-hmm. and I'm just building knowledge more and more, and sure. I just feel like I'm the teacher now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Feels good, right?
Yeah, it does.
My girlfriend says this all the time because she gets on to me because I'll impulse buy stupid stuff.
Right.
And she's like, Dakota, you gotta pay attention to this kind of stuff. She goes, my grandfather's always told me the worst thing that he sees is seeing an older person that's poor or is not wealthy, and that they're having to continue to work at mm-hmm. 65, 70 years old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so being able to mitigate that on the front end mm-hmm. by doing something like a life insurance mm-hmm. or a Roth IRA, just being intelligent with your money on the front end while you have it,
right?
So that when you get older and it's a little harder, it's already there.
Yeah, because nobody wants to. I mean, it's all about the short-term gains,
sure,
instead of like long-term, results and stuff like that. So, and I've come across some people that, some older people that didn't have that in place, mm-hmm. and they're still working at like 69, going on 70, and they're like still working. And it's like, you don't really want to do that. You want to get this money and move to Barbados or or Brazil or something like that, somewhere where the dollar's gonna stretch.
Yeah.
And you live like a king or queen. You know what I mean? So
sure.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I mean, you still have some people that want to work for life. I mean, I've had a couple of my dad's friends are architects, and they're like, I want to die on the drawing board. I don't want to stop
for mental health reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to be sitting around like looking for stuff to do.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Yeah,
sure.
Because if I already have something to do, then it's like, there's you have your vacation time. That's great, but everybody can't be on vacation all the time.
Right. Then nothing gets done.
Yeah, exactly. So, I have, my wife's great aunt. She's like 90 something, still working, and she's still moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
That's as far as like financial health, your physical health is just as important. You definitely want to take care of yourself so you don't have to like be on a whole bunch of medications.
Well, and part of that is stress induced. So, stress, while we don't talk about it, it's likely one of the higher reasons for early death.
Right.
Because stress can lead to a whole mess of things. And so being able to take some of that stress off through, I'm covered with a life insurance, or, I'm investing in myself and in my family and in a generational wealth aspect of, the future, thinking about myself in the future, that stress level starts to come down. And so your life expectancy starts to go up. But kind of leading into that, some of what you do and some of how you kind of help some of your friends and your clients is leaving behind a legacy. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. That's pretty much what I was saying. It's just like leaving that money behind so they can live happy.
Sure.
My coworker is saying happy people live long. So if you can in any aspect just kind of reduce that stress level so you can it's going to work itself out most of the time. So as far as leaving a legacy, you want, like I said, you want to think ahead. So you do have something to give to the future generations.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I really say about that.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
No, it makes sense. So because this is a marketing podcast, I do need to ask you a couple questions. How are you currently using marketing? How does Country Financial currently use some marketing to further your business and really encompass that story of there's so much more to this than just it's just insurance.
Right. So Country Financial, they don't really pour into like commercials and ads and stuff like that. So we're walking commercials.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. Walking commercials.
Yeah. So we have to be out in the community. We have to be out in front of clients, whoever. I went to the Chamber of Commerce yesterday. You just really got to be like super involved in your community because we're pretty much serving our direct community when it comes to insurance needs and whatnot. As far as marketing, you got to get creative.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, they don't really have like a marketing strategy for us. We kind of have to like come play along as we go. So that's what brings me here.
Cool. Yeah.
I met you at a networking event. And,
yeah.
And I was like, hey, I need help marketing.
Sure.
So that's where you come into play. And
I love that.
And we're definitely gonna be working together. You know what I mean? For sure.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Well, you heard it live. He said it. He's gonna work with us.
Right.
Oh, well, cool. So Jamehl, I did want to give a chance to like. So how do people get in contact with you? When's the best time? I mean, is it immediately? Like come to you now for life insurance. What's your typical ideal person that comes
I'm available
to you?
24/7.
Yeah.
If my phone rings, I'm almost obligated to pick it up.
Yeah.
So, as far as insurance agents, we have to deal with clients, 24/7. There's no time limit for anything to happen. So it's just as far as contacting me, you can come to my office. It's on, in Alpharetta.
Okay.
Right. I don't know the address, but that's off of Windward.
Yeah,
Just
we'll
look up
get it.
Country Financial. Look up, Google Country Financial.
Sure.
As far as my contact information, you can contact me at 678-768-0658, or call me at my office at 770-706-2056.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you an email guy?
I am an email guy.
Okay.
So you can reach me at Jamehl, Jamehl .Jackson at countryfinancial.com.
Cool. Well, Jamehl, I have one more question. This has nothing to do with any of the show. I just want to know, where does your name come from? Because I think it's so cool.
Is
Is it a family name?
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
not. I guess, they wanted a little bit different twist off of Jamal.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
So, all my siblings have like this silent letter in their name. So
Yeah.
my name is Jamehl. It's Jamehl.
Yeah.
My brother's name is Jamari.
Okay.
You would never know how to spell it. It's Jamahrae.
Interesting.
Yeah, right? There's just that H that
Yeah.
just throws you off, right?
Yeah.
And then my sister's name is Jasmine, but
Okay.
it's Jasmyne.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So creativity's in
Yeah.
the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's part of it.
Yeah. That's the legacy.
That's the legacy. That's right. Yeah. Creative.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, cool, Jamehl. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm so glad you've come by.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys heard how to get in contact with him. So get your life insurance, get all your insurance and everything from Jamehl Jackson, Country Financial. Thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you.